So, what if I told you that every single thought you have and every action you take is literally broadcasting a signal out into the universe? That's what we're diving into today. This incredible idea that we're all beings of frequency and that humanity itself has just gone through a massive, fundamental shift in its collective energy. This right here is the question at the very heart of everything we're about to explore. Seems pretty simple, doesn't it? But according to the philosophy we're breaking down, our collective answer to this is what actually defines the next stage of our evolution. So just let that question sit with you as we go through this. All right, let's start with the foundation. The idea that everything, and I mean everything, is frequency. We're not just talking about radio waves. We're talking about the chair you're sitting on, the air you're breathing, even the thoughts that are popping into your head right now. They're all vibrating. This teaching says we're basically energetic beings, shaped by forces we can't even see. And that brings us to what we are made of. This philosophy suggests that every single one of us is a mix of two totally different kinds of energy. You've got your tangible, material reality, your body, your brain, and then there's this other intangible, immaterial energy. Think of it like the physical you and the soul you, working together to create your life. So let's really dig into that. What exactly are these two forces? Because, understanding this duality is the absolute key to getting the huge evolutionary shift that we're about to talk about. Okay, first up is material energy. This one's pretty straightforward. It's all the physical stuff, your body, your phone, the planet itself. But here's the cool part. This philosophy sees all of it as one single connected substance. It's all just different forms of the same basic energy. And then you have the flip side, immaterial energy. This is your soul, your spirit, your consciousness. And this is where things get really fascinating. Well, all that material stuff is connected. Your immaterial energy, your soul, is described as being completely, totally independent. It can't be mixed with anyone else's. It is 100% yours and yours alone. So how do these two sides of you even talk to each other? Well, this is the bridge. Your soul, your immaterial self, is constantly putting out its own unique frequency. It's like your own personal radio station. That signal radiates out and has a direct effect on your physical body, right down to the cellular level. And get this philosophy says that all communication, every single conversation, is really just an exchange of these personal energy frequencies. Okay, so we've got the building blocks: material energy, immaterial energy, and our personal frequencies. Now, let's get to the main event. This teaching claims that humanity just hit a massive evolutionary turning point, a moment where the basic rules of the game for how we operate as a species just completely flipped. And that turning point has a date, late 2012. The idea here is that this moment marked the end of what's called humanity's age of growth. You can think of it like our collective childhood, which was all about learning and taking and accumulating things. After 2012, we officially entered our adulthood as a species. And this slide really breaks down what that change looks like. Before 2012, we were in the era of the human. The driving frequency was all about getting more money, more stuff, more status. It was all about personal gain. But after 2012, we entered the era of the person. And the operating frequency here is totally different. It is all about contribution. The goal isn't to get, it's to give. This quote just nails it, doesn't it? The age of growth is over. The age of maturity has begun. It's such a powerful way to look at it. We've supposedly moved past our teenage years, which were all about me, and into our adult years, where the focus has to shift to we. So if we're living in a brand new era, well, it makes sense that we need a new way to live, right? This teaching argues that to really thrive now, you just can't use the old rulebook anymore. You need a completely new mindset, a new code of conduct. And here it is, that new code of conduct, broken down into 4 questions or commitments. This practice is based on a Korean concept called Hongik Ingan, which basically means living to benefit all of humanity. So instead of waking up and asking, what can I get for myself today? The evolved person is meant to constantly ask, what can I do for my neighbors, for society, for my country, and for humanity as a whole? And this is where we get to this beautiful kind of paradoxical idea. The teaching says that the second you stop worrying about your own life and start focusing your actions on helping others, your own life just automatically works itself out. Your problems start to disappear and prosperity comes to you. It's this wild idea that By looking outward, you heal what's happening inward. What? There's also a warning. For anyone who is still operating on that old frequency of greed and personal gain, this new era is supposed to bring a lot of hardship. And this is so important. The old shields that used to protect people won't work anymore. It doesn't matter how rich you are, how famous you are, how smart you are. The teaching says that if your life isn't about contribution, things are going to get really, really tough. Okay, so let's pull all of this together. We've talked about these two different energies, this huge shift in 2012 and this new path forward for humanity. But what does it all really boil down to? Well, it all comes back to one thing: the frequency that you choose to broadcast to the world. And this, right here, is the biggest takeaway. The whole idea of shifting your focus from greed to contribution isn't being presented as just a nice thing to do or a moral choice. It's being framed as a necessary evolutionary leap. It's about tuning your personal frequency to match the new reality of the world we're all living in. Which brings us right back to where we started. But maybe the question feels a little heavier now. It's not just about owning versus contributing. The real question this whole philosophy leaves you with is this: in this new age of human maturity, what is the purpose of your life? What frequency are you broadcasting? And what is your unique contribution going to be?